It was a good weekend for MMA as a whole, but it was an even better weekend on the regional scene because we've got a few more rare submissions that I'm still confused as to why we keep getting so many of these lately. But hey, I'm not complaining. We've also got the usual of some one-hit KOs that are just absolutely brutal, and a KO of the week that'll leave you on the floor, literally. But to start things off, we're going to our fan comment of the week that's from CSNA21 Gaming, and they said, "First KO dude accidentally matrixed that head kick," which couldn't be any more accurate because, yeah, like I said last week, if this kick would have landed after that hit, it would have been deadly. So thankfully, he fell in the slow motion fashion and gracefully dodged it. What's going on, everyone? It's the Casual, Lawton Veerkant, and this is Caposa's Corner. Kicking us off this week, we're heading to Niza FC 40 in Kazakhstan, where we have one fight. Here, we have a flyweight matchup that sees Kazbek Sagyan with a clean 2-0 record, and he's taking on Varsham Gavorgyan, who has a 10-5 record. We are starting off strong this week because with just a little under 1 minute left in the first round of this one, remember how I mentioned some brutal one-hit KOs? Oh yeah, one single left hook, one body collapsing to the canvas, and thankfully some restraint from Kazbek while he waits for the ref to jump in, and this fight is over. Yeah, I mean, what else can you say? Doesn't get much cleaner than that. Varsham loads up for a huge right almost simultaneously, and that leaves him just completely vulnerable to this devastating left, and that is all this one takes. Fantastic performance from Kazbek though, as he secures this win and keeps his record clean at 3-0. Now we're gonna go take a look at Octagon 31, also in Kazakhstan, where we have one fight to show you, and it is time for Caposa's Prospect of the Week. This is a flyweight bout for the vacant belt between Alan Gabriel, sitting at a 12-6 record, and his opponent, Azat Maksum, has a pristine 14-0 record, and he is our featured prospect for this episode. Now, I will go ahead and admit this fight did go to a unanimous decision victory for Maksum, but as you can see by these highlights, it was an absolutely dominant performance from him, and it's actually surprising he didn't sneak a finish or submission in during it, but like I said, it did go to the judges where Maksum won with flying colors, and he is your new Octagon flyweight champion. And as I'm sure you're thinking like the past, what's the big deal? A decision win isn't that impressive. Well, first off, you're wrong, and this win now puts him at a ridiculous 15-0 record, and as you're seeing now, along with some impressive fight IQ, the dude has a pretty great wrestling and ground game, claiming multiple submissions on his record, and alongside that, he has KO power with some great striking that he displayed last year when he went to Brave CF and claimed 2 wins before coming over to Octagon. Caposa also made a great point in referencing Kazakh fighters in the UFC like Shavkat Rakhmonov and how he is making waves, so it's not going to be surprising if the UFC starts looking for some other stars from that region. And, well, if they called Maksum up to give him a shot, I can personally say I would not be surprised. Moving on, we're going to head to Georgian Fighting Championship 16 in the country of Georgia, where we have 2 fights to show you. And why not? The first one we have to show you is Caposa's handpicked submission of the week. Here we have a featherweight fight that has Vicha Koridze with a 5-2 record, and he's taking on Yasser Yassini, who has just a 1-0 record. So this is a fun one because, yeah, 4 seconds in we head to the canvas, and although Koridze is on bottom, that does not stop him from landing some huge elbows, and while doing this, well, he sneaks this submission in. Yeah, that's right, the rare and coveted Gogo Plata, which, if you're unfamiliar, that's a submission where you basically use your own shin as a fulcrum and crank your opponent's head down towards you, ultimately choking them out or forcing the tap, and thankfully the tap came first in this one. This whole fight only lasted 1 minute and 1 second, and I gotta say, that was an impressive performance from Koridze, who secures this win and improves his record to 6-2. For our second fight at GFC 16, we have a bantamweight matchup between Muhammad Dalvand, who has a 3-1 record, and his opponent, Otar Tanzilovi, has a clean 6-0 record, and was actually featured on the show back in February where he landed this beautiful jumping switch kick. So this one's a little busy, but just 15 seconds in, Otar lands this huge head kick that rocks him, but he somehow survives, and then we fast forward just 50 seconds later, and I think Otar might have another trick up his sleeve.
Bravo!
Yep, he sure did. Muhammad, I can only assume, thought that another devastating head kick was coming his way, but nope, plot twist. Otar sends it low, making direct contact with the liver and absolutely folding him to the canvas. Yeah, those seriously aren't the easiest ones for me to watch because that pain just has to be excruciating. Caposa also noted that Otar was a close runner-up to Prospect of the Week this week because this win now improves him to a nice 7-0 record, and the dude is just absolutely entertaining to watch. So, although we didn't get our title this week, here's another name you should keep your eye on. Off to visit our friends at Combate Global in Florida, where we have the main event welterweight bout between Leonardo Rodriguez, sitting at a very nice 13-2 record, and his opponent, Marcus Edwards, has a 13-6 record. So, just like normal in most of these videos, well, this one only takes 21 seconds before someone goes to sleep.
Zurdo en contra de derecho por el momento. Buena izquierda por parte.
Holy onslaught of punches. I counted 7 that landed cleanly to the chin in that whole transaction, and dear Lord, did he put him to sleep. Edwards just starts letting these hooks fly as Rodriguez slowly slides down on the cage, and finally when the ref steps in, he is just out cold and this one is over. I mean, that one is just straight up savage, and the look on Edwards' face after the fact is just terrifying because he looks like a stone cold killer. But he does secure the win in a very quick 21 seconds and improves his record to 14-7. Now we're off to Ohio Combat League 19 in, you guessed it, Ohio, where we have one fight to show you. So this one has limited footage and pretty terrible audio, but just take a look at this huge overhand right. Yeah, so here we have an amateur women's strawweight bout, and that's Jessica Emmerich securing her second amateur win, improving her record to 2-1, and, well, our poor friend who ate that huge hit, well, that's Kaylin Doan, who now has a 1-2 record. This is yet another one where we wish we had more angles in these two angles to show you, but it was just too good for us to exclude due to limited footage. So, congrats to Jessica on this win, and hopefully she can get more like this in her future. Up next, we're heading to Warrior Extreme Cage Fighting 87 in Michigan, where we have one fight to show you, and as fate would have it, it is sadly another with limited footage, but we have audio, so take a look.
Sauerkopf landed a few nice shots. He's coming straight up. And he gets one time for his...
Yeah, so this is a double debuting amateur lightweight bout, and did you see it? Yeah, that's Steven Slattery, who threw this accidental nut shot, and when the ref said game on for whatever reason, well, his opponent, Justin Sauerkopf, decided he wanted immediate payback and did just that with his huge overhand right, followed by 2 ground hooks, and this fight is over. Something must have been in the amateur air this weekend, because this fight and the last one we saw were some pretty dang good KOs for fighters with not much experience. But congrats to Justin for toughing it through the low blow and for securing this impressive debut knockout. Time to go visit our good friends at LFA 134 in Texas, where we have the bantamweight main event that sees Erbeth Souza sitting at a very nice 15-1 record, and he's taking on Muen Gafurov, who also has a nice record of 17-4 and actually competed on the Contender Series last fall, where he sadly lost to a decision. So this one surprisingly makes it to the second round, and nearing the 2-minute mark, who you think's gonna take this win home?
These are the moments after all that shot! He's down!
Well, Gafurov does, and he does it in devastating fashion with this huge overhand right that literally collapses him to the canvas, and then the 3 ground hooks force the ref to step in, and this one is over. I know I mentioned that he lost his Contender Series bout last year, but we know the UFC is always watching LFA for some new talent, so maybe he can get another shot here soon with a few more wins at LFA, but either way, congrats on this impressive win that improves his record to 18-4. Still going, we're heading to Fury Fighting Championship Amateur Series 38 event, also in Texas, where we have a flyweight matchup between Luis Rodriguez, sitting at a 2-0 record, and his opponent, Hayden Bryers, also has a 2-0 record. And here's another one that literally only lasts 19 seconds, and as you can see as soon as this one starts, Rodriguez goes for a takedown, and, well, he might regret that move here shortly.
I mean, this choke is as deep as it gets.
He's going out.
And he's out. He's out.
Yep, ninja choke from hell, one sleeping opponent, and a fight that barely even got started before it was finished. The announcers mentioned after the fact that Bryers' last win was almost an identical submission like this one, so I think it's safe to assume he might like using his long arms to sneak these ninja chokes in to secure a win. But a very impressive performance from someone only in their 3rd amateur fight, and he does a great job at keeping his record clean. And for our last fight this week, we're heading to Cage Warriors 139 in San Diego, and no, we didn't didn't forget, because it is time for, of course, Caposa's KO of the week. This is a welterweight fight that sees Chasen Blair with just a 1-0 professional record, and he's taking on Kona Oliveira, who has just a 1-2 record. So this is another one that actually makes it to the second round, and these two are just going at it for just over 30 seconds, but someone is about to connect. Yep, a huge right hook coming out of the clinch, and it lands directly to the chin, just sending him down and out to the canvas. Look at the torque he had on that hook. He put every single thing he had into that one, and I'm sure he's thankful for that now, because it landed him this win just 39 seconds into this second round, and was a great performance that secures him the win and keeps his record clean at 2-0. Our second week of the month is down, so we're adding one more KO, submission, and prospect to the board, so don't forget to leave your favorite ones down in the comments below, and to stay tuned for the next 2 weeks while we add some more for the month. And as always, thank you to Caposa for helping us compile these lists every single week, and you can support him by giving him a follow on Twitter at Grabaka_Hitman, and you can support him by checking out his Patreon at patreon.com/Caposa. And here's another reminder that if you want in on the action of these regional fights live every weekend, go check out his website at GrabakaHitman.com for weekly live schedules and ways you can watch all of these crazy regional fights. And we want to thank all of these amazing organizations for hosting these events week in and week out, and to every single fighter, winners and losers, and we will see you all on the next video. Peace!